in the name of the Honourable Machi on the persistent crisis of illegal migration and its strain on the budgets of the social and security clusters, particularly the Departments of Health, Home Affairs and Correctional Services. The Honourable Machi.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. Migration is an inherent feature of human existence. It is not a new phenomenon, nor it is one that will simply cease to occur. South Africa's own history reflects this reality. Since the discovery of gold and diamond in the 1860s, our country has experienced significant inflows of migrants. While South Africa was the last country on the continent to attain its freedom, the dawn of democracy brought with it a marked increase in migration into the country, driven by its improved social, economic, and political climate. Perhaps it is important to reiterate the IFP's position on migration. The IFP firmly supports legal migration, recognizing that skilled workers are essential to growing our economy and advancing development. However, illegal immigration is a crisis. Those who enter our country unlawfully, breach our borders, compromise our national security, and place immense strain on our already fragmented public resources. And this, Honourable Chairperson, is the flux of the IFP's argument that the national discourse has largely centered on the right of illegal immigrants, while the fiscal implications for our country has been illegal to mere footnotes. It is important to note that these concerns are not only shared by millions of South Africans, but also acknowledged by Minister of Finance, who has recognized the growing strain that illegal migrants places on our already burdened fiscals. However, Honourable Chairperson, it has become far too easy for those who focus solely on human rights to dismiss and valid pro-consent as either xenophobic or political motivated. However, it is important to recall that during the Constitutional Assembly, the IFP made a clear and principled submission. The IFP stated that the protection of fundamental freedoms and liberties must be ensured in respect of both citizens and foreigners while they are within the territories of the Republic. However, this applies only to first-generation human rights, such as freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and protection from unwarranted arrest, search, and seizure. Furthermore, the IFP maintained that the entitlement to second-generation human rights, such as the right to education, work, and medical assistance, should ordinarily be limited to citizens or, in some cases, to permanent residents. The IFP's position was and remains that these socio-economic rights should be reserved for citizens while allowing the legislature the discretion to extend them to residents where appropriate and sustainable. South Africa is facing a crisis of illegal immigration. This is precisely why one of Home Affairs' key commitments and strategic priorities is to conduct at least 40,000 deportations per year of undocumented foreign nationals. However, that target is optimistic at best and insufficient at worst. Even the department, which plays a pivotal role in our national security, can only estimate the number of undocumented migrants in the country. This lack of accurate data not only undermines enforcement, but also weakens our ability to plan, allocate resources, and protect the integrity of our borders. The IFP has consistently highlighted this concern, particularly during the budget vote, when we cautioned against the reduction of the department's funding, given the critical importance of its work to our national security and governance. The Lindela Repatriation Center remains one of the large cost drivers in the department's immigration enforcement program. The daily cost per detainee averaged 200, covering accommodation, meals, and security. Additional expenses for transportation, whether by bus or chartered flights, further escalate these costs. Over the past 3 years, expenditure on deportations has exceeded 423.8 million, placing a significant strain on the department's budget, of which only 5% is allocated to immigration enforcement. This clearly demonstrates the unsustainable financial burden posed by unmanaged illegal migration. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honourable